In the mid-70s, extraterrestrial life had migrated to York Peninsula, for sure. Partygoers. They were from the Seacliff and the Arkabar Hotel. You know, the future leaders of any nation. But rich or poor, they were there. They were at the Daly headlands. The Daly Heads Hotel for a roast and a beer. Why, one had to be fit and of stable mind for balance. It is important when riding a surfboard. Like a couch and a beer is also important for the surfies. Contemplating the weather and predicting the future. The Daly's Hotel kept many a surfer happy. They set up a party tent there. Before the hotel, from the mid-70s onwards, this photo was taken in about 73, 74 at Daly Heads. Bushwah would pay the doors flat out, and there'd be a lot of surfers there. Wouldn't be surprised to be 20 cars, and it was always crowded in the morning. They surf all day, they were fit. They were partygoers. Some were white-collar workers, while others were just surfers, mad scientists, stuff like that. Some tried to find the fourth dimension in surfing. Some found the green room, others found no room. It was a crowd, brag or bag, but there was always a cold beer. I've seen flames. I heard a loud bang at the top of Daly's Hill. Somebody was conducting mad scientific experiments. I remember it well, thinking one had got out of his cage. We used to live all around different houses and places, and the Daly's boys had one focus, and that was on the headlands. And yes, the Daly's Hotel, it was a monumental place. One should not lose at cards or reinvent the wheel there. One should not stagger or sleep in the bush. That is salmon hole. Nor should one run around the hotel in a strange manner. Look, there's a roast on. Nor should one look sideways at each other. The hotel was a saviour for many, for it converted the lost, fed the needy and indoctrinated the disbelievers. Yes, the Hotel Daly's, it needed 2 chimneys. Would bring your own. And yes, there was a bell. And when it rang, you had to drink the mixture that was given. So losing wasn't an option. And name-calling, whinging, moaning, groaning. It was okay till the bell rang. We used to surf all day, Daly's boys. They were a big collection. People from everywhere. The comfort was 5-star at this hotel. Crayfish on the menu, loaded dice on the floor, clipped cards. I remember a euchre game. They changed 3 different partners at 4-man euchre and lost. The management had to be called. The security had to be called. But the bell was rang, settling the issue. Yes, and it had a Metters wood-burning oven. It was of international standards, setting a new bar in luxury living. It had a swimming pool out the back as well. One window faced Salmon Hole and the other one faced Daly's. A lot of surfers surf Daly Heads. They were a diverse bunch, but they travelled over to the west coast in the end. These are the days in the mid-70s, the biggest Chinamans I'd ever seen, only 4 of us out. These are the size of the waves we were riding. It was all day. Yes, picking mushrooms on the west coast. Oh yes. The west coast was hot, and in 80 and 81 it was very windy, but 82 it turned on. We all used to travel south to get these waves. It was always crowded. We made our own crowd. Neville and Stig used to complain because they used to have it to themselves for so many years. There was a few surfers in Streaky Bay, shearers, fishermen, but I guess we increased the crowd and the parties. The Funny Farm had its own flying circus with dazzling displays, and Slidey's Beach had the Comet Party and the kegs. Everybody liked a beer. The surfing crowd was very keen. They'd all be down there at daybreak checking the beach and then heading south. Some checked here, some checked there, some went everywhere, and some just ran out of petrol. That's the way it was. If you think you know what you're doing when you're looking at the beach, look at the fuel tank. That's Mickey Mendoza. He'd broken his fins out, and he's complaining. Yes, it was a diverse bunch of surfers around the area. Came to live, fish on tuna boats, buy houses, marry girls, live in the town, and have children. Until this day they still surf all these breaks, but you won't get a wave out there. Don't bother. They know it all too well. The place only holds 6 people that know what they're doing. Yes, and if you look carefully, scraping through on a big one. Yes, the Daly's boys explored. And we had barbies on the beach. There's staff there. And parties at Slidey's. Pass around the hat. And if you didn't have any money, sometimes we'd pick them up by the legs and shake them just to make sure. Loved the beer, the kegs, the parties, the Limar parties. Everybody was involved. Always had a band on the porch and kegs. And the kegs would be paid for by passing around the hat. It was the style of life. It was also cold in the mornings and warm in the afternoon. The crowd was always good. I had to find another place. That's Mark Strah there on the far right, and Speedy I'm talking to. And this is the first days they started surfing, or the second day they started surfing. And that's Johnny Crowder there. And it was Gazza in the photo before. The place grew teeth. We loved our surfing. We loved the freedom. We loved to travel. And we knew when the beach was on, and we knew when to go up there. But you had to have respect up there. These people knew what they were doing. Surfers, same generation. The longboard waves we found. Had to walk over a sandhill so far, in that heat so many times. Fickle breaks though, they take swell direction to get on. But they bring memories. And granites. Everybody used to surf granites during the summer. Used to turn on. That's Johnny Crowder's car over there on the far left, and Sean's and Speedy's up the top on the far right, and Gorilla's car. I reckon they're all out in the surf. Has a history, this place. I used to call it Grandma's. Does get very crowded. And another place, like all along the coast. They are crowded. Why go surf a place and you can't get a wave? Why just sit around? I jumped out of that car. I tied the steering wheel up. I brought it off Cockle for $100, but it was had it by then. I tied the steering wheel up, put it in first, then put it in second, then jumped out the door. The old days are gone. That's me paddling out. We just got there. About 9:30. We were keen. The others were sitting on the point, watching. But like I said, you won't get a wave out here. They take every wave. They're locals, they know what they're doing. We used to travel the coast all the time. The surf was good back then. You had to wait till these guys had a surf, or were getting well wore out, then paddle out. That was the best time. And that's Crushers. Had a good tube out there in 77. Me and Buzzard paddled out there. Some days are just magic. But it never lacks the crowd. Some just sit there. For the locals take all the waves. But a magic surfing wave. And this is me taking off. Yes, memorable waves, memorable days. Everywhere along the coast.